Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Wednesday, so it's my bad joke day. You know, there's things called gallows humor. You make fun around things that have to do with people dying or at the end of their life. So you heard about this one guy, he was really not going to make it through the night, so he turns to his wife and says, listen, can we just make love one more time? It's like 11 o'clock in the evening. She says, oh, sure. So they do it. It's wonderful. Kind of falls asleep. He wakes up again at 1 o'clock. It was so good. Just one more time before I go. Can we make love again? She says, oh, okay for you, honey. And they do, and it's just wonderful again. And goes to sleep, and then he wakes up again at 3 o'clock. Says, I know this seems like much, but just one last time, Kunja says, listen, it's easy for you to say. You don't have to get up in the morning. Okay. So, with that tasteless humor, let's move on. The word for today for the journal writing people is progress. It's a fantasy dream, right? To reach the omega point, right? Where Earth becomes a living paradise, right? It's off in the future. Things are getting better and better, aren't they? In many ways. And yet this is the vale of tears. This is a place where suffering still exists. So how can we live with the dream of everything being wonderful, right? Even if we try to improve it to the level of like, let's make as many things possible and good for as many people as possible, and let's have the least amount of suffering for the few of us as possible. Still a fantasy. And yet, it's logical for us to seek some form of deliverance from embodied existence. It's called soteriology, the doctrine of salvation. And the mind of the wise understands the world as a kind of visible representation, an image of paradise. It's as if Spirit so created the world that we could see through the objects of the world, and we could understand spiritual teachings, and then we could marvel at the wisdom of how it's all set up. But nonetheless, to get there, my teacher B.K.S. Iyengar says we have to have purity in action, purity in intelligence, and purity in love. That's purity of the karma, purity of your jnana, and purity of your bhakti. And to recognize that yoga is the instrument to control and direct these three, so that your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings are put on the bridle of love and directed towards service and personal fulfillment. Now, we tout meditation, which simply means sitting in silence long enough for you to see the workings of your own inner mind and to recognize what they call the mental factors, how the mind relates to different objects. And the first thing they tell you is beware of the three poisons, the three unwholesome roots: greed, hatred, and delusion. Greed meaning the part of your mind that grabs out through desire or lust and wants to hold the object, draw it near to itself, be seduced by it, take it in. And then the hatred factor is the opposite, attachment and aversion, raga and devesha, as they say in yoga. Push it away, get rid of it, kill it, stomp it out, deny it, hate it. And then, of course, the third one is delusion, the forgetfulness, the wrongly identifying with avidya, actively not knowing the nature of reality. So you take everything to be yourself, and your ego separates itself from everyone and everything, and then makes choices based on its own ignorance, its deluded state. Those are the three unwholesome roots: greed, hatred, and self-deception. But of course, generosity, friendliness or love, and mindfulness or awareness, love, serve, and remember, as Ram Dass would say, right? The love is don't forget, don't be deluded. The serve is action-oriented. And remember is the intellectual, waking up, keep reminding yourself. All right, nonetheless, what's important, I tell everybody, is to find the true scoop. Give up hearsay and collect your own evidence from what's right out in front of you. Don't be cynical. really do the thing. That's what the path is all about. And if you're honest with it, it'll do things for you, for sure. So this is our contemporary challenge to religion. We all have a need for sacred space, transformational space, a geographic place that is a spiritual place. I'm not saying that it has to only be in the world-class ones, go to Machu Picchu or go to Tulum or go to Angkor Wat or Benares or whatever. Yes, those are things, but the spiritual place ultimately is in your heart. So what's the best way to travel to the geography of transformation that's in your heart? Remember that there are a lot of unwanted things out there in life. And you have to make your choices as if you're a person who has a well-stocked kitchen, but you don't use every single spice. There's some spices that just don't go with this recipe, and you leave them there. So in the same way, choose wisely. And remember, when you're sitting and watching your mind in meditation or silence, how you respond when you realize your mind is wandering is critical to continuing to develop mindfulness. Bring it back. If you get lost, patiently bring it back 100 times, 1,000 times, like a wayward puppy that has to be trained. And the moment you bring yourself back to sitting and breathing, then here you are.